There was once a merchant who lived in a bustling town at the edge of a vast desert. His name was Covey, and he was known far and wide for his shrewdness and his ability to strike a bargain. Covey's shop was filled with treasures from distant lands, silks, spices, jewels, and artifacts, but despite his wealth, he was never satisfied. He spent his days haggling with customers and his nights counting his coins, always dreaming of more. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a wandering monk appeared at his door. The monk's robes were tattered, his face weathered by the elements, but his eyes were calm, like still water. He carried nothing but a small wooden bowl. Covey, curious but wary, invited him in. The monk sat silently in the corner of the shop, his bowl resting in his lap. Covey, unable to contain his curiosity, asked, "What do you seek, Holy One? Surely you've come to trade something?" The monk smiled faintly and replied, "I seek nothing. I carry nothing. Yet I lack nothing." Covey scoffed. "How can you lack nothing when you have nothing? Look at this shop, it is filled with riches. And still, I desire more. How can you be content with so little?" The monk's gaze softened. "Tell me, merchant, when you close your eyes at night, do you dream of your treasures? Or do you dream of peace?" Covey hesitated. The question struck a chord deep within him, but he brushed it aside. "Peace is for monks," he said. "I am a man of the world. My treasures bring me joy." The monk nodded slowly. "Then perhaps you should carry them with you," Covey laughed. "Carry them? My shop is filled with more than I could ever carry." The monk stood, his bowl still empty. "Come with me," he said. "I will show you what it means to carry your treasures." Intrigued, Covey agreed. The next morning, they set out into the desert. Covey brought a small satchel of his most precious jewels, thinking the monk would teach him some secret of wealth. But as they walked, the sun grew hotter, the sand heavier beneath their feet. Covey's satchel began to weigh him down, and soon he was drenched in sweat, his legs trembling with exhaustion. The monk, however, walked lightly, his bowl still empty, his steps steady. Hours passed, and Covey could go no further. He collapsed onto the sand, gasping for breath. "Why are you doing this to me?" he cried. "What is the meaning of this?" The monk knelt beside him and placed the wooden bowl in his hands. "Look inside," he said. Covey peered into the bowl, expecting to see some hidden treasure, but it was empty. "I don't understand," he said, frustration boiling over. "What am I supposed to see?" The monk smiled. "You see nothing because you carry everything. Your treasures are not in this bowl. They are in your mind, in your heart, in your hands. You carry them wherever you go, and they weigh you down. But true wealth is not in what you possess. It is in what you release." Covey stared at the bowl, his breath slowing. For the first time, he felt the weight of his desires, not just on his back but in his soul. He thought of his shop, his coins, his endless striving, and he realized that the monk's bowl was not empty, it was full of space, full of freedom. The monk stood and began to walk away. Covey called after him, "Wait. What should I do?" The monk turned, his voice carrying softly on the desert wind. "Let go of what you do not need. Carry only what you can hold in your hands." And when your hands are empty, you will find that they are full. Covey sat there for a long time, the bowl resting in his lap. Slowly, he opened his satchel and let the jewels spill onto the sand. One by one, he released them, feeling lighter with each one that fell. When the satchel was empty, he stood and began the journey back to his shop. But he was not the same man who had left. He carried nothing now but the bowl, and in its emptiness, he found a peace he had never known. From that day on, Covey's shop became a place of stillness. He still traded, but he no longer clung to his treasures. And when travelers asked him the secret of his contentment, he would simply hand them the wooden bowl and say, "Look inside."